Hello everyone and all club members. Thanks for joining. This is our second webinar. First was on 29th April, which was with totally new concept as home is new office. And in that we discussed lot many things because lockdown was there and we were facing problem. Everyone was facing problem as it was a new thing for all of us. 2-3 days lockdown curfew was known to us, but total lockdown and closure of business was a big challenge for everyone. First to accept, then to adopt, and then to implement. Because lot more businesses are gone through different cycles. But after that, new things were introduced. Software were among the one of them which got the highest implementation in the said period. I will say that instead of trade, government was much more ahead. Government, I mean customs, to introduce lot many online things which we all are aware about. Bill of entry, faceless assessment. Now Turant is there. Bill of entry shipping bills are going directly. Before that it was e-seal. Now they are going further and further for simplified the work. So from government, they are ahead. From trade side, we all are trying to catch with this new era of softwares by which we can ease out our work. Now, what are the three things which are mainly required and the reason we all are pushing ourselves to adopt this software from the old era? Probably, I think it's a new infrastructure where everything is speed, new technology. Second can be easily availability of logistics data. Everyone has available logistics data. Most of the time it is online. And third and the most important thing is continuous cost cutting pressure on entire industry. I think I will underline this last: continuous cost reduction pressure on entire industry. I will not refer only to logistics industry. It's applied everywhere across the industries. That is the reason which mainly attract us to these software platforms. So I will introduce first all eminent guests we have today on our panel. I will start with Pavitran sir, who are BDP UGL Logistics MD. Then Mr. Parag Gaitonde, who is General Manager in Liladhar Pasu. We have Liji Madam with us from Odex, one of the software solution company. And we are happy to have again Mr. Amit Maheshwari, who was with us for our first webinar. And now he will be guiding us further. What are the new challenges and what are the new chances? So before I start, definitely I will start with Pavitran San, but I do one appeal to all members. Please take care of your staff. Please make sure everyone is following social distancing. Everyone is following government rules because it is quite important to safeguard our industry, and it is only in hand of us only now. We all are aware that now government has tried their level best, but it is individual, all trade members who has to take care of this. Now we'll come back again to our main topic, and I will definitely like Pavitran sir you to throw light what all problems you have come through, because let's understand the problems and the hurdles which we face. And obviously when problem comes, the logistic guy are the first people who try to find out the solution. It can be any way. Like if we go to Gujarat side, it has named in a beautiful way, it is Jugaad. Jugaad means to just get the result. But this Jugaad, over the period, we set into the systems. That is what all businessmen do. So, sir, over to you. We are looking for your guidance, how you tackle the problems, and then we can go to the next speaker.
Hi, thanks, Anand. Really, thanks for the brief introduction. It's nicely placed. And also the eminent panelists here, and all of them been a veteran in their respective area. And Amit is somebody who actually the pulse of particularly custom brokerage and freight forwarding community link with the technology. And I think SoftLink is I don't know, it's like what we call it as Xerox. So in Indian custom brokerage area, people don't call it as a photocopy, it's called as Xerox. Like it's here, it's such a SoftLink. So I think Amit is happy to have him on this panel. I think it's a bright opportunity for everybody to take away something from this session. And needless to say, Liji, I think ADEX, and particularly in this pandemic situation, ADEX as an organization has been played a very vital role in connecting the stakeholders to a certain extent, and then getting the industry to be on the wheel. So I think that's something is great. And I think Anand, the EXIM perspective, such an event, which is definitely, because this is the time to share knowledge, gain knowledge, as well as create an impact in the people mind and thinking positive. I think we don't wanted to discuss problem. We would like to now put our focus to the future in the new world. I think that's the way I look at. That's the way I think is problem is there. That is there, and we are supposed to be living behind the problem. Look ahead, tune our organization, get ready for the new world, which is already been embraced by us now. The question is that how are we going to sail through, get ourselves resilient, and get ourselves adopting the new way by embarking into a digital journey and putting all stakeholders into the common thought process, and then integrating and driving the productivity out of it. Because as you end up were saying that everyone wanted a cost reduction, and you can't have that cost reduction without technology taking the mainstream. So I think that's something is very important. And Parag, thank you. And I think a person from a community, and I think it's thanks to have you all. So coming back to this, I believe I remember when we had early Jan, and when the world knows that China is into this pandemic begin, and WHO has already moving into a position of declaring it as a pandemic. That's the time we as an organization started assembling our key thought process leaders and the managers around, and to see that the problem is in us. How soon, how deep, and how it is going to impact, which probably we were not been able to figure it out. We said that problem is going to be there. India is not eluded from the world, and India is going to hit this pandemic. So we know the problem is going to be in our doorstep. Never expected it's going to be soon in the March, but yes, it's hit us in the March. And invariably we thought of maybe the world science is progressed too much. People are talking about rocket, getting the rockets going into the other planet. So even the people are purchased land in there, right? Some of them are booked. I don't know whether Amit, you have been in that purchase or not, but people are already taken some of these lands. So we thought of it in the two evolving science world. I mean, vaccine could be a 3 or 6 months time. So even if the problem comes to India, we probably will struggle for 1 or 2 months, but we are already into it for last 5 months, right? So with that problem, what we basically realize is that we become a completely web-oriented platform operating, so that we can operate from anywhere. And in terms of our custom brokerage perspectives, we were already in logistics platform, so we could put our team back into home, and then more of us we are early adopted our technology in perspective BDP as an organization. And I personally also believe that's where we and Amit would really stand with that, because we were able to integrate our customer on a technology interface very early stage, even for our custom page data flowing. So we could mobilize our people from home. But we believe all technology is no use if we don't keep morale and health of our people. So we jumped in first is in the second week of March to give a hint to our team, saying that hey, we are moving into a problematic environment. We will be forced to work, we don't know how long, into a tiny home. Because if you look at in our custom brokerage environment, most of the data entry work, most of our workforce are not really highly sophisticated, sitting from a 2 BHK, 1 BHK apartment in Mumbai, right? They would be all the way Kalyan, Dombivli, and New Bombay, and very extended time with a tiny home. they would be working. Even if you give them the technology from a home, it's not going to be giving you the productivity, not going to be giving a mental time framework for them to even open up your computers and start working in, right? So we have to mentally boost them. So that's what one of the problem we early encounter is that keeping the mental upstakes of our workforce across the function. So that's what we prepared ourselves, the first steps, so that let them adopt mentally so that they will be able to do some work at home. Then the second problem, we know infrastructure in IT is not that great. I could see even a small drop in Amit's face from a technology person from Singapore, because that's the way of bandwidth in technology which take in terms of internet speed or in terms of any other fiber kind of a technology which has been adopted. So we know even if you give them a best on class platform of web enabled solution at the technology at home, the key people will have impacted. So in terms of operating it. So we talk with internet service providers to see that at least certain kind of a bandwidth enlargement for our people. And we also had, like, we don't have anybody with not majority in the laptop. We have to mobilize our desktop to home. And then being a global company, we have an IT protocol. So we can't have an IT mobilization to the home. So we need to work into a global VPN connections. So we have been quickly adopted. And to be honest with you, I don't want to boost from the Sunday where it has been declared that one day onwards it's going to be global national-wide lockdown. But as being pharma and others, so we have been on the ground quickly after that, at least to have our bill of entry and custom interface. But one thing I would say, as customs were also in last 2 years been moving towards digital platform, certain extent the disruption has been able to curtail to certain extent because of that initiative, knowingly or unknowingly, or probably World Custom Organization forced us to do it, but Government of India has done, I think, a certain extent we need to give credit that for some international trade on to things. So the problem was there mentally making the people to be home. Second thing, creating an infrastructure for IT software to work on. And so we had those issues popped up. We addressed that one. And then we also have the people in the field, which most of the custom brokers know. In Iran, there was no accessibility, and even mentally people don't want to come out. Even though, and the safety and health of our individual, because our biggest asset is our people, right? We want to ensure that they are safe. So we have made all those things in a way, this as a parameters, and then this has actually disrupt the complete logistics of the country to almost until, I would say, 13th of May, I would say, for a general cargo is concerned. But that is something which is nowhere in the world would ever come into such a lockdown. And I was actually, for me, when I was talking to a person in Singapore or my own boss in US, they said, hey, which world are you? Lockdown means you are trading and blocking the entire trades. So they never expect that's going to be the way of lockdown. So, but I think, as you rightly said, custom brokerage and Indian logistics company always find ways and means to stall and stand up and deliver. And then you always have a community that is called customer. They never get satisfied, and they don't have any of this illness. Neither they have all this pandemic in terms of, except their office and their world. But we have a bunch of, good base of customer who have been able to integrate with us and to understand. So I think the problem, what we are there, but we overcome by a strong partnership of key stakeholders that include customer, our asset, that's our employees, and then our technology, and then finally with all the key stakeholders like ODEX. So we were also been quick enough to get all our invoicing and process in terms of carrier integration through ODEX. So great. I think that's what I would say. I put it across. The problem is not only me. I'm sure entire our community has faced it. And how deep it is one. Some of them would be in the level of 5. Somebody would have been in 1. Somebody would have been 2. Somebody in 3. But nobody in 5. I can't say that nobody would have reached into 5. So that's how I put it.
Thank you very much on your positive note, and really wanted this to start on a positive note, though the points were to understand the problems. But as I said, all custom broker starts with the mentality of getting result first and then setting a system. And I think our second eminent speaker, Mr. Parag, who will be more focused on giving us the problems, which I will not say again problems, the solutions which we come across in CFS, in giving the import deliveries, collecting the DOs and all that. Everyone has come across one or other problem, but all CHS were helping each other to understand how they can get their things done. If someone is collecting DOs for other people and trying to comply and give the delivery, that's the beauty of all logistic field people. They are the first who stand every time when problem comes. Parag
So,
Gatundeji, over to you. I am
Anand, thank
expecting
you so
you
much.
to describe it more.
Yeah, sure. Anand, first of all, thank you to everybody, where everybody is participating, all the attendees who are attending this. I hope everybody is safe. So we are here to discuss on digital adoption and some of the challenges. As rightly put up, we also are here. We have faced this COVID situation. We have come up in this COVID situation, but I would put it more as a service provider viewpoint of view rather than a technological. Of course, I am a technical person with the at the background, but yes, at the same time, when we look at the digital showcase that has come across and the pandemic that has hit, with all times, it is more of a technological focus now than before. When this pandemic stuck, we were already on a digitization path. Not that we were not doing digitization before. We were doing digitization even then. When this stuck, it got into a spotlight wherein people started saying, look, now it is more important than before. Not that we were not doing it before. Now, at the same time, it reminds me of a famous quote from Lenin. It says that in certain times, in decades, there are decades when nothing happens, and there are weeks when decades happen. So these are those weeks where decades have, in terms of technological bounds and everything, have come up, where we have gone leaps and bounds into technological aspects. Yeah, there have been challenges, and what I believe is that challenges will be there. Like sir mentioned that the challenges will be there. But our LP group and me as a focus, we also focus more on the opportunities that this brings to our table rather than focusing on the challenges that are there. Yeah, challenges even before COVID were there. Odex was there, Softlink was still there. Softlink was always the web-based platform which has helped us. Now during COVID, we have been effectively been able to use it to work from home. That has always been the feature. People were working from home for us. We were prepared right from the day one when this stuck. Yeah, problems, if you tell me, yes, logistical problems were there, where there was, in certain times, there was no clarity on how we transport the systems to house of people, how we get them to a desktop, how we get them to a laptop, arranging them in a short span of time where the government was coming up with new orders and ordinances and time to time. So we had to strategize and build our systems accordingly. But we have managed from day one to get it online. We have been serving a lot of pharma customers on the field. Our workforce has been there attending, and all my systems have been in place from that day. Nevertheless, the focus has been more now to turn to digital and get all the platforms integrated to each other. That is what I feel is the challenge that we will want to take up further, rather than putting it as an issue we faced during the pandemic. I would rather put it as a challenge that we will want to face and take it head on, and see how best we can take up Odex, Softlink, and help the trade as a general to take up these initiatives to go seamless digital. Now, digital is there. Not that custom has come up, like you mentioned correctly, custom has come up with BOE, custom has come up with a faceless system. If you talk to me as a service provider, other than a technological person, I would say we work on time, we work on cost. As a CHA would always say, they would work on time and cost, right? Now, this brings to the table that when we digitize, it is not free of cost. And I think Lizzie and Amit would agree to me on this. And that is where my position gets stuck in between Mr. Parthivan and Lizzie and this. So I would be a better person to tell you this. So this is where we have been able to take up internally as an investment rather than looking at it as an investment or a cost. And we have been able to grow leaps and bounds in terms of this. In certain cases, yes, there have been challenges, like you specifically are looking out for challenges. Then yes, there have been challenges. Not that everybody is aware. Everybody has helped within the trade to overcome these challenges. We have faced multiple platform challenges. If you name one of them, certain things have been implemented overnight. Okay, like for example, customs e-gate pass was implemented overnight. The email started flowing in. Until today, they have been coming on email left, right, and center. They're still to go within the system, and they will go. I'm sure Amit and team will work on it, and they will put it as a part of the system. But then these gate passes have to reach to the field staff who's there as a print, physical print still, right? So these gaps are there which need to be filled in, but this also cannot be expected to be done overnight. So this will happen eventually. I understand that moving to a gate pass which is digital itself is a big achievement in a short span of time. Now, the next steps would be to then look at how we will be able to facilitate the person who's standing on the floor with the document to be given and the cargo to be taken out. That is the actual, according to me, that is actually, if it eases the work of that person on the floor, then we have achieved something in terms of digitization. Else, we are creating silos in terms of documentations, right? So as Leeladhar Pasu, we have been doing various digital initiatives across, and these changes, rather than unsettling us, they will settle with time, right? We have been right on the forefront where these changes have come. There have been challenges in moving up systems up and down. There have been changes which have impacted us, but so far, being a logistics service provider, I don't find it challenging. With the company perspective, we have placed our people first. We have been working from home right from the day it has been announced, except for people who don't have passes or who have not been allotted passes. Nobody is moving out. Utmost care has been taken for the people on the staff by the management and teams, that all the gears, all the necessary equipment is given on the field, right? They have been tested, they move across, there have been regular tests conducted. So this is a new way of life which is coming across. And what trends we have seen globally, we don't see this settling down. So we are getting used to the new way of life, like working from home. Like Amitji mentioned when he was taking this conference, that he's been on Zoom. So he's an advocate for Zoom rather than now for us. So this way, this is a new normal that we are seeing rather. To rather put it as challenge, I would rather put it as an opportunity. And rather putting as a digital initiative or challenges faced, I would take this opportunity to see how we can bridge systems in a better way and ensure that people are safe and they're able to work from home as they're doing for us right now.
Thank you very much, Parag. It just reminded me when you talk about cost, when we were discussing about in our first webinar with Amitji, I have repeated one very famous ad of India. That is couple of guys standing near the vessel and asking the price, and the Indian guy asked, "Kitna deti hai?" means average kya hai. So everything in any business bogged down to cost always. So if we are cost effective, then only we can give the reduction to customer. Now coming to second point.
Average means value.
Yeah, yes.
Average means value.
From your business point of view, it is correct. It is value. But that value has one cost, which every businessman has to determine that. So coming back to Mr. Parag rightly said, opportunities are there. And I think going forward, particularly in logistics field, the era will be known as pre-COVID and post-COVID. We can definitely say that because pre-COVID things were different. We were reluctant to adopt the technology. We have our own reservations. Even staff was reluctant to adopt technology. But now post or in this period, everything has changed. And I think no one better can explain this, because the graph must have gone up for all software, and we are here kept a balance in our panelists. We have 2 software people who are catering to logistics industry, and 3 of us are user, or rather all of our user. So I will definitely like Liji ma'am to throw a light. And before she starts, giving us any idea, I'd like to know first how the idea of making particular software comes to your mind and how you do it.
Okay, so that's a long story, but I will try to cut it very, very short. We were working with a couple of logistics service provider as a software company. But one thing, and Amit and I actually, we've been discussing for a long time. One thing we've seen, and which is now coming to focus because of COVID, is that one, there is a lot of repetition that happens, whether in terms of sending paper from shipping line to customer, to forwarder, to CHA, to CFS, and the change just seems to be endless. And it is probably the same piece of paper with certain fields added that is going across. And the second was each organization in this entire chain has got different enterprise systems, which means that we have an army of people just entering data again and again into different systems, whether it is the custom system, whether it is the shipping line system, whether it is the forwarder system. I think the good thing for us was that none of us come from logistics as founders. We have learned about shipping along the way because we do not come from this industry. If I were to go and ask Pavi sir a question, he will obligingly answer me, and he will not say to my face that, you know, I am an idiot. He will probably tell me that, see, this is a stupid question, but see, this is why we do what we do. That actually was very good for us because we were okay with asking questions which seemed very stupid, but at the end of it we were able to develop a product that said that, okay, what will it take to create a Facebook for the industry? I mean, today, I know we are all a little old on the panel, so we can talk of Facebook. Maybe the younger people who are attending, they will probably talk of Instagram. I know my son will talk of Instagram and he will say, my mom is very old, she's talking about Facebook. But what does it take for me to go to a single place and say that I can meet my friends here, I can meet my acquaintances here, I can meet my relatives here, and I could also probably block my parents on Facebook. You know, I mean, that's the way we designed it. We said that, okay, if somebody has to become more efficient in this trade, is there a single place where we can go and talk to shipping lines, talk to CFSs, and now when we collaborate with partners like SoftLink, is there a single place where we can all talk to each other without having to worry about moving paper and rekeying the same data again and again? So that was the simplest basis of developing something like Anodix. Thankfully for us, COVID has been a mixed bag actually. We of course have a lot of customers in India, and we are very thankful to the Indian market that it has shown us the way we truly are a homegrown Indian global brand, I would say today, because India gave us the platform to develop something like this. India gave us the advice and the mentors to build something like this. We had already started our pilot solutions and go live in one country in Africa and a couple of countries in the Middle East. But the moment COVID happened, in India, we were scrambling actually, one, to provide solutions to the industry. So we had solutions like the CVBL solution that we launched, where you do not have to go to the shipping line today to submit a physical copy. The House BL endorsement solution was always there, but we now found that a lot of people wanted to use it actively, and so on and so forth. So shipping bill submission online, all of this we delivered in India. But it's not just India actually. When we look at it, and like Pavi sir was mentioning, it is a global thing today. And for us, it has also meant that a lot of customers who are very reluctant to go live in the last 2 years, they have come on board in a week. And I would like to borrow from Parag when he said this, that we have actually lived decades in a matter of weeks. So the one thing I actually wanted to share this that I saw happening was, typically we ask who drives your digital initiative. And this is something that I thought I should share. So we asked this question, and I think what has happened for all of us is who drives it? Is it the CEO or is it the CTO? My answer these days, it is actually COVID-19 that is driving the digital transformation of any company. It not really is just logistics, but we are seeing that every single company is being driven simply by the COVID-19 that has hit us. Uh, in terms of challenges, I agree with Pavisar and Parag that let's not talk about challenges, but look at solutions. Couple of things that we would like to see fast tracked in terms of implementations, closer integrations amongst partners and amongst stakeholders is something that we want to drive towards. There are initiatives like SCMT coming in. We hope that this brings in more digitization rather than going back to a manual way of employing more people and more resources. I hope we work on this smarter and do it in a more efficient and Parag, to take a cue again from you, more cost effective manner because every dollar matters. So especially today, because we all know that volumes are down. We all know that costs have not really gone down because there is definitely a cost of connecting from home for and ensuring that we are having a lot of team members who work from smaller homes who do not have the kind of access to network or infrastructure like a lot of us are privileged to have. I've seen that there has to be a discussion in the industry on the mental health of our own people. And I can actually give you an example. One of my team members is today tells me that she's afraid to go out and cross the road because of the fear of because the amount of news that you see. So today, yesterday or day before, there was something that said that you have to wear a mask every day and all the while because corona is airborne. I think as organizations and industry, uh, we probably, and this is a request to Anand sir, is there something that we can do to take up initiatives on mental health for not just, of course, we as organizations will do it, but for the industry as a whole. That's one. Second, as a woman, there's something that I'm cognizant of. We are not just working women, we are also caregivers to our family. So which means that when all of us are locked up, there is a lot of responsibility that, and not without, it's not complaining, but there's a lot of responsibility that the women probably shoulder more than the rest of the family. And I know it for true because I speak to my team members often. And it's not just India, a lot of time the support structure might be missing for a lot of women. So again, as an industry, is there something that the industry could address the needs of women in particular? Especially, I have seen there are so many women in documentation in this industry. I was very surprised and very pleased when I started interacting with forwarders and CHAs that this is probably the only industry where there is 50% workforce is almost women. Now, is there something that we can do for them? And I would be happy to be part of this initiative with the EIC, where something that can help them cope with the current situation. So these are two challenges I think needs to be addressed, and an industry-wide initiative might actually benefit.
Thank you, Raju ma'am. And I'd like definitely you to elaborate more on, you say, integration and collaboration with Softlink and you and sharing platforms. So how exactly it works? What exactly it is, where you all are collaborated, so our documentation and flow of documentation can be reduced, or rather I will say our data entry work will reduce. Will you please elaborate it a little bit?
Yes. So the very first area that we have started is on an initiative on integrating the EVGM and the eForm 13 with Softlink. So if you essentially see that for a VGM to be filed, apart from the gross weight of the container and the weighment details from the weighbridge, there is a lot of information that is required to file the VGM. What we realized is that this is information that is actually keyed in the ERP system. And of course, the industry leader and stalwart in this is Amit and Softlink. So we said that how can we make life easier for our customers? And Amit, of course, was looking at something very similar, because I think that's where our thought and wavelength matches, where we are continuously trying to innovate for the customer. So we said that, is there a way that Softlink and Odix can link up? So Logisys links up with Odix, and seamlessly, as the data gets punched into Logisys, the same data can flow into Odix without any manual intervention, which means that there is zero data entry errors that can occur in Odix. The second part is that there is zero requirement of additional man hours that we are spending in order to actually, punch in data again and again. And the third is that any kind of communication is both ways. So if there is any rejection, any failure, it goes right back into Logisys. And similarly also for Form 13, because Parag was actually mentioning this, how do we get the final document to the people on the ground? And even today, I see that Form 13 has to go to the trucker. And we've also been talking to port terminals, where we have now integrated with Adani, where there is no need to carry a physical document. Can we try and avoid these, especially in these times? So this is where we started off. I just have a very small, a single slide on this. So what we've essentially done is we've integrated the eForm 13 with the EVGM, and there is complete transparency, obviously, for anybody who is making this data entry. No need to rekey the data. And of course, the biggest thing, especially when we are all homebound, and you cannot walk over to your colleague and say that, okay, ye check kar le, wo check kar le. In these times, so somebody who's making a Logisys entry knows that this will definitely go into Odix without any intervention at all. Amit, would you like to add something over here? I think that's.
Lizzie, you have covered that. The biggest advantage, as you know, is right now that people do not have the advantage of this kind of a collaboration what people were having. So that is no longer existing. So obviously it has to be replaced by something which is more robust. So this is the collaboration which can definitely help. And the data is seamlessly going from one platform to another, untouched by hand. No changes, no re-entry. So you show the same data being there, and it saves time also, that re-entering. So the cost thing, it goes down, and value of the system goes up. So that is the kitna deti hai. That is the answer to your kitna deti hai. So same cost another thing. So that is what is. You want me to continue, Lizzie?
Yeah, that will be better, sir, because I asked many questions instead of that. Take us more about what all integration is possible. Like we say there is a problem, there is a solution, and a businessman says that there is no solution, there is an opportunity. So the stakes can go high. So what are the next plans, at least for logistics field, and how this integration is going to help the entire trade? Please, sir, Amit, sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Anandji. Like always, it's a pleasure. And with you, it was my first webinar which I conducted. After that, I think we have conducted around 15 to 20 webinars. And so that will be a list of them. I can look at before doing this kind of a session again, but able to do. And this gives us opportunity.
Amit sir, we are facing some audio problem, it seems. People are reporting that there is some audio problem from your end. Just try to
My
fix it.
side?
Yeah, now it is
Can you
clear.
read?
Now it is
Okay,
clear.
okay. I moved my mic a little closer
You're
to
moving
me.
back. Yeah, please.
Okay, okay. I moved my mic a little back to me. So, so this is the that opportunity which has been given to us, as the Pitranji said that they were ready. Similarly, we were ready. Just, the problem is getting harder, and so the country was locked down, announced by we already started working from home. We started with, yes, we also caught surprise. We thought that it's probably a month or two kind of a problem, not a big problem. But then the problem is we realized that it's a new which has to work. Everybody has to work in a day in a same way. If you look at what was happening was 2 teams, having am I audible now? Is there any problem?
Yeah, I think now it is
Okay.
better. The audio breaks in between.
Problem in connectivity, it seems.
Okay, just a minute.
Now
There
it
should
is
not be
clear.
any connectivity issue.
When you come, when you are not laying back, it is very clear. So continue.
Okay. Thank you. So, when this lockdown and things got extended, so we also started working from home. And we soon realized that unlike us, we have an entire working from home, but that will be logistic companies. Logistic companies will now have 3 teams instead of 2 teams. One team will continue to work from field, essential, and also your other activities which you have to do. Your back office, your
No, Amit sir, I would like to interrupt you again. We are not getting a clear audio. I don't know why.
Okay.
Can you just refresh it once?
Okay, hold on for a second.
Now we are getting clear when you are very close to mic. The moment you move around, we get disturbance.
I'll remove my external mic. I'll use the speaker mic.
Please.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
better?
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay, thank you. So when we looked at freight forwarders and custom brokers closely, we realized that it will not be a similar situation because they have the management working from office, they have back office working from their various location wherever they are working from, and then they have the field teams who will continue to work from field. So when we realize this, then we have to do something about it quickly to solve this problem. And then we realized that earlier the people were working, even the back office team, there were silos. Somebody was doing VGM, somebody was doing something else, somebody was doing documentation, somebody was doing customs. So everybody was doing, but their common connectivity was the floor. They can just move to somebody's desk and speak, which was very easy. But when we realized that this is no longer to be there, we started working with the various partners internally also, and internally we started looking at the system, what we have to do. So in that regard, we started talking to Lizzie. We were talking for a long time, but then we expedited the whole thing, and we tried to release, and we were finally able to release it very quickly. There becomes a seamless, so that informal community, informal people talking to each other gone, and people can simply, just click of a button and it goes. We are again working with her for a many new things now. SCMT is becoming a reality very shortly, and all the data required by SCMT is residing because it requires a line level information. It requires obviously your shipping information, the BL information is not sufficient. The data is very well there. Not working, how simply send this data either directly to the ICE gate
or through the Lizzie platform to the shipping lines, so there where it can be accumulated and sent to the your customs. So this is the way we are also right now working with many other partners. We are right now working with which shortly will be announced. It's an industry, one of the top NVOCC of our country, where the booking itself can be done from our platform. No need to go, just click on booking, carrier booking, and from carrier booking, you have a drop down of the vessel voyage, which is available as per your cutoff date. Select as per your destination. Information, the tracking information will seamlessly coming to you. Your customer will be updated automatically. So these are the projects which we are working. We are again working with one of the industry leaders, where the shipping bill and other information can go seamlessly to the seamlessly on the at the port or CFS or wherever things are. So we are working with many other partners on that, and within our software, as pointed out earlier, that a field person will get a document, because field person is not coming in office, and there was a loose way that a document is sent to his house, or somebody is living too near the house, you just hand it over there, or somebody is going all to the way to Nhava Sheva or maybe the remote places. Now all these things are no longer possible. So how to do it? Now that is the way the mobile app comes into play. A simple mobile app on the field can seamlessly send the document, push the document, and this field person can also request for payment, update the status, lot of things, he can do. Simply, as soon as the delivery is made, a photograph is captured and sent to. Logistics is updated, the data seamlessly goes to the customer. This all is possible now, even for a payment. Now, earlier, there were loosely, these field people used to come in office every, end of the week to clear their vouchers. Now, how to do it? Very simple way. These field people can just fill in the data. Okay, how much is the reimbursement? Along with the receipts, along with the data. It will come to their managers. Managers approve. It goes to the, your accounting team to release the payment. So we are now living in probably a completely new normal situation. Whether, I don't know, nobody's guessed that, this situation will end and everybody will come to office, everybody will start going to office, nobody knows. But I feel that, this is what is all about. And earlier, I always have a problem with logistic industry, that logistic industry, whenever they have a large volume, they will start thinking, okay, let me add more people to handle the volume. I say, instead of that, start looking at the technology. Instead of adding people, you can look at the technology which can provide you much better result, more resilience, and the business can be continued without disruption. And this is what it is. And just like me, logistic people also, I feel this is a great opportunity to relook, rejig, and reinvent your business, and which is very well possible, and be ready for tomorrow. Thank you.
Definitely, sir. The same point we discussed earlier, the COVID time has given time to all to see back and see how the new development can be implemented. Regarding this online payment, I will again go to Lizzie ma'am, and before asking her next question, we are lucky to have Exim Integrated Club secretary with us, Srikant Bhagwatula. And like ma'am was mentioned, what all activities you all are doing. So instead of me giving details on that, I will definitely like Srikant to throw light on that. So Amit, can you just unmute Srikant Bhagwatula, who is the secretary of EIC? Or I can do it from here. I think I am also.
Rohit will have to do it, I think.
Rohit,
I've already done. Yeah, I've already done it. He can speak.
Okay, then I will just introduce Srikant is a secretary for Exim Integrated Club, who sits in Bombay. And I'm very proud to announce that he was the first person to go on the ground zero to help truck drivers. EIC was almost, Srikant, over to you.
Thanks, Anand, and thanks for those words of appreciation from your side. And as he said, yes, I had the opportunity to to represent EIC and show our concern and how we could help. And we started with immediately arranging for food packets, and we distributed it to all standard drivers at Nhava Sheva. There were some very pathetic stories that we have heard, and we were really happy that we could be of help to them. And
Srikant, we lost the voice.
I have another. We all got into a team and arranged for the distribution about 5 to 6 times all across Nhava Sheva. Then we identified that there is a huge amount of crowding that is happening at JNCH building and at CFSS. So we again came together, and I would rather like to thank all the members of EIC to have contributed and donated for this cause. And using these funds, we arranged for food operated hand sanitizing stands, and we placed them at very location in JNCH where the maximum number of footfalls are coming into, and there was not much facilities there, and this helped the visitors in sanitizing their hands from time to time, and they started using it immediately, and it was very much appreciated by CB staff and the visitors, as well as the commissioners and chief commissioners. Second, we did is we distributed the stands in some of the CFSs for the same purpose, because we found that the footfalls are highest near the customs offices, and because of crowding, there used to be a chance of their health. And under this campaign of Stay Fit, Stay Safe, we again installed these sanitizer stands and all the CFSs, most of the CFSs that we have connected in, and we are going to distribute rest of the CFSs also during this period. And finally, we are now we have already procured the homeopathic medicine, which boosts the immunity of, thanks, that's the one, Anand. It boosts the immunity of the staff, of the people who take it, and we've got a family pack time, so that every person who is visiting at JNCH, the maximum risk is to the CD boys and the regular visitors. We'll be arranging for family pack of this medicine, and we'll be doing it next week. It will be the first distribution. We are planning to try it on Wednesday, and we'll follow it up for the next 2 months, again on the same dates, so that the immunization, or I won't say immunization, that it will boost the immunity of the people, thereby at least trying to save them and their family. That is the next agenda on our cards, to arrange and see to get it distributed at Nhava Sheva and Air Cargo Complex, both places. I think,
Thank
yes,
you,
Anand.
Srikant. I will just correct you. We will not start. We started it from Pune. Pune, all
Yeah.
ICDs are already covered
Yes.
for distribution of this, and now we will be doing second distribution on 15th. And our club president, Mr. SP Kulkarni, will join us this time for doing the distribution. It's not only a distribution. I will like definitely to share this point with you. When we started distribution in one of the ICDs, I will name it Diggi, a custom officer himself came to us. He collected few bottles, and he has collected all the boys, asked them to keep a social distance, explain the importance of wearing mask in a social group, and then explain the importance of this medicine, how and why it is defined in everywhere, how to take it, how many times to take it, why not to take it regularly. A custom officer himself has explained everything to the CHA boys. So it is very clear, everyone is concerned about it, and we are trying to just implement it. Again, thanks to all EIC club members who on a single WhatsApp message contributed and make us able to do this activity. So this is, Lizzie ma'am, what we are doing. You asked me ki, what our AIC is doing. So we are working on ground zero, and continuation with our motto of stay fit and stay safe. rather stay safe and stay fit, we look forward these softwares are part of it, because when there is no human interaction, obviously spread will be less. And that is the reason there are two particular point about ODEX I will like you to throw light upon. One is online payment to CFS and shipping lines, and second is the collection of delivery order. How it come to your mind and how it was implemented? Because I am one of the beneficiary of it. We started collecting all DO, EDOs. I'm quite sure it is not there for original bill of lading, but already express bill of lading, it is there. So over to you, Liji ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Anandji, for bringing this up. Actually, one of the very first solutions that we implemented was the electronic delivery order, because, like I said, for us, when we did not come from a logistics mindset, it was actually very easy to question that why do you need a physical print of a document which is not negotiable, and you carry this from a shipping line office which is based in Andheri or in CST or in Masjid, and then you actually have somebody travel all the way to Navasheva to send it to actually just present it to the CFS and collect the cargo. And that's where we said that the very first thing we should try and do is to ease the life of the people on the ground, which is the runner boys, so that they did not have to go from office to office and collect this delivery order. So one of the major initiatives for us started in 2016 to digitize the delivery order. What is generated by the shipping line is not just available to the custom broker or the forwarder on their ODEX dashboard. It is also simultaneously visible at the CFS as well as at the empty yard. So which means that once you have a delivery order number, your person, if at all he needs to go to the CFS, I know there are other activities for which the runner boy needs to go, but the traveling part completely gets eliminated here, and you do not need to send the delivery order. Of course, we would love to extend this, to categorize, to take care of original BLs, but we know today that especially with the COVID situation, a lot of trade has moved to CVBL, which means that for at least 60 to 70% of the transactions, you can, for your delivery order, directly upload the CVBL into ODEX. The submission to the shipping line is completely online. Shipping line can see it on their dashboard, and once they verify the credentials of the CVBL, the delivery order can be issued automatically. Coming to what is needed for issuing the delivery order, the biggest challenge, of course, remains payments. And when we started working with shipping lines and customers, what we realized is that the payments for shipping as a trade is not as simple as booking a ticket on Book My Show or traveling on Make My Trip, where I can just go produce my credit card and just make a payment. That's not how it works, because a forwarder is acting on behalf of a consignee or a shipper. That's one. Second, most forwarders, whether they are global forwarders or Indian forwarders or custom brokers, they have an organization structure to be followed, which means that my accountant or my operations team can ask me for money, but somebody has to actually approve it because it is an organization. I just cannot pay just for that, which also means that there is a delay in payment based on the availability of the person. And even after the payment is initiated, depending on the banking hours, if I make a payment at 4 o'clock, will the shipping line get the payment today? There is no guarantee of that. So this is where ODEX came in, and we designed a payment solution working very closely with a few of the largest banks in India, and where there is an instant confirmation of the payment. Again, we have had early adopters of this, but during the current situation, when it was difficult for the trade to go to banks, to go to shipping lines to actually make a check payment, or because a lot of the custom brokers, if they are BCBA members, check is accepted. When all of this has become impossible, we found that this particular solution has been used extensively. And like you rightly mentioned, Anji, we see that today more and more the adoption of trade of digital initiatives like an e-payment, a CVBL submission, e-delivery order has increased. We've in fact also extended the delivery order integration with PCS, because we know that certain times the PCS DO is viewed by an ICD and so on and so forth. So today, if you see, because we worked so closely with global shipping lines to enable the delivery order digitization when nobody was even talking about it, for us, this is just one more integration. So we have now gone ahead and integrated with the PCS where this data can be pushed into the PCS. So just to give you a background, this is a small slide that I have on this. Sorry. So multiple options, since you specifically mentioned about payments that we have, including all your standard online payment options. There is, of course, in countries other than India where we have an e-wallet solution that is available. In India, we have a virtual account solution that is available. In India, we also have UPI-based solution available. So irrespective of the payment mode, it doesn't matter. You come on ODEX and you can actually pay seamlessly. And this particular payment is valid for not just your delivery order, but also for your extensions and also a few CFSs that are available on ODEX where you can make a payment. I would also request help from the trade to actually get more CFSs on board, because Parag was mentioning this, and we are also actively working on this, where we see that CFSs have probably to adopt digitization, and they have not kept that particular pace which trade has already done. So probably there has to be some push from trade, and maybe Parag and Pavisar and you can talk more about this and how we can get more CFSs on board.
Yeah, actually, we were coming to that point only. Liner payments, most of the CBs and forwarders are using it. But in COVID time, it is challenging to keep a social distance at the window of CFS to do the payment, collect the receipt, and arrange for the delivery. So CFS payment in particularly, if I do a CFS payment online, how am I supposed to get the receipt of that payment? ODEX gives it or CFS gives it? What is the procedure for that?
So whether liner payments or CFS payments, the receipt is actually posted on ODEX. With CFSs, of course, we do not have too many CFSs on board, and that's where Parag was also mentioning this during his discussion, that the digitization speed at CFSs has probably not kept pace, and we would like to see more CFSs because it's actually a very simple process. You pay, a receipt is generated online and is posted on ODEX. We understand that for reimbursement from customers, these receipts are very, very critical. And especially today when cash flow is stressed, to get these receipts on time is very, very critical. So even for the CFS, it's actually a very simple process. And we would be happy to arrange a training for any of the trade members or CFSs who want to look at this solution. Currently, we have a Hind Terminal, Navkar, Amaya, and a few more CFSs which are accepting payments in and around Navashiva. And we see actually a lot of customers have started using this more actively now, especially custom brokers and forwarders, not necessarily the consignees, where they want to pay the CFS directly. We have also we are also starting a pilot with the BMCT terminal, where payments for BMCT terminal can also be made on ODEX. So what we've been doing is to extend the reach of this payment solution more and more, so that more and more we can start having customers enjoy the benefits of such digitization on payments. So I'm hopeful that with BMCT coming on board, we'll also see a lot more other terminals and CFSs come on board for payments.
Is it only BMCT or other terminals also?
The pilot is just started with BMCT. and I am hopeful that more will follow. So.
And what about the EDO, like Express BL? We have to upload it and get the DO. How it works?
So it's actually a very simple procedure. The moment you get an invoice on ODEX and you make a payment for that invoice, you have a pop-up window. If you have an Express BL or a Seaway BL, you just upload that BL and it reaches the shipping line. It's actually just one click of a button. You have, so today if you see, most CBs and forwarders will have a scanned copy of the BL. And especially in these times, it's easier to work that way. So you just upload a copy onto this particular window and it gets available on the shipping line dashboard and the delivery order can be released. In fact, we have gone one step further. We understand that there are FCLs where the house BL has to be endorsed by a forwarder before the shipping line will release a final DO. Today, even that is possible on ODEX. So you can submit your house BL, endorsed house BL on ODEX. The same can be viewed by shipping lines and the DO can be released directly. So to give you an example, if there's a house BL of LP, the customer can go submit the house BL, LP will endorse it online, and the online endorsed house BL is actually available at the shipping line. So what we have done is we have taken the need for traveling to the forwarder's office and then going to the shipping line's office, and all of this physical movement, we have taken it all away. You can just sit in the comfort of your homes and log into ODEX, upload all these documents, get it endorsed online, get your delivery order. So it's actually, we also have a couple of videos that are available on our YouTube channel. So it's happy to share the link with all the attendees. I'll have my team do that. And you can take a look. Short videos where all of this is available.
Yeah, I will take one question while discussing. There is one question from Sandeep Gosavi from Swift Line. Releasing online BL, Express or eWay BL, what is the legal sanity or status of this procedure? How you can safeguard it from future legal hassles?
I think the question is more pertaining to an electronic BL, sir. Because with a Seaway BL, any which ways, it is not a negotiable instrument. So what we do whenever a customer comes on board ODEX is that the registration process is quite, I won't say stringent, but we actually collect the KYC of the customer and the customers understand the need for that because it is required to validate a transaction. And because of that, only registered KYC validated customers can transact. I think the question is more to do with the electronic BL because as an electronic BL, which is a negotiable instrument, the sanctity of the document has to be protected. And we are seeing now a lot of initiatives where the electronic BL is available on blockchain. Blockchain as a technology ensures that it is tamper proof because one, all details of all transactions are available transparently. In this case, of course, in a closed loop. And second, the structure of the technology is such that you cannot amend or delete any data. You can only add, and every leg is visible to most of the participants in the blockchain. So that's how the security of it is ensured. It's a little technical and too detailed a subject.
Yeah,
so maybe a session will be required for that.
Bill of lading subject itself is very technical. I think Pavitran sir will agree with me, and rather all people who are more into freight forwarding and logistics and releasing their BL will agree with me. It's a more technical and more legal, and it will take time. But before we end this, we have one announcement to do. EIC will be conducting one more webinar that will be on SCMT, which is probably get implemented from 1st August. And definitely, Leji ma'am, we will be needing your help with the detailed presentation in that with your staff, what
Sure.
SCMT is. And I will request Rohit if there are any few slides to show what SCMT is. Like trailer, we can show it. So we'll have a next webinar on SCMT. Over to you, Rohit.
Yes, sir. Just a minute.
So all members, we will be going ahead with our stay fit, stay safe and digitization of document, and we'll be trying to endorse it more and more to small CB, big forwarders to become competitive, cost effective. And obviously, though SCMT is not directly related to CB, but it is overall related to trade. So we'll have next webinar on particularly SCMT. Anyone who will like to know more about EIC can go to our website, Exim Integrated Club. Just easy membership by clicking on it. Only rule is only logistics service providers can be member of the club. No one else is accepted as a member by the committee.
So I'm just showing you the brief on SCMT.
Yeah, please, Rohit.
Yes. Ma'am?
So as you can see, it's a very crowded slide. What we have tried to represent is how will the manifest be filed when a vessel is arriving into India. What are the details that are required? There are of course a few terminologies which we will take up during the CMT seminar. Maybe us or whomever EIC will invite, or we hope to have somebody from one of the shipping lines hopefully can come in. So there are terminologies like SAM, CIN, and all of this, which we will take up in detail. But essentially, from the trade side, there are a couple of key terminologies that we will touch upon, which is the CSN. That is very, very important for forwarders and CBs. Of course, once the CSN is generated and sent to IceGate, then whatever comes back has to be submitted to the shipping line so that the final manifest can be filed. So IceGate gives back a file called as a PCIN, which sadly is missing in my screen. And the PCIN can be submitted if as a forwarder, you will be filing your own manifest. So the CSN is this cargo summary notification that is sent by the forwarder to IceGate. And the reverse notification from IceGate will be a PCIN, which can be sent back to the shipping line for filing of the manifest. Alternatively, of course, forwarders have the method of submitting the information directly to shipping lines, and where the shipping line will be filing the manifest on behalf of the forwarder. So these are the few things that we will touch upon during the presentation that hopefully we're planning for next week or the week after that, just before SCMT is launched. And of course, it will be our endeavor to integrate with Logisys and also other enterprise systems so that there can be seamless flow of information between the enterprise system and ODEX, which will then help you to connect with the shipping lines. So that's from our side on a very, very short brief on SCMT. I think.
Yeah, it's a trailer only, ma'am. As we said, ki it is a trailer and show to abhi baki hai. So I hope.
Show to बहुत लंबा है sir. SCMT का तो.
Yeah, it is a little bit complicated, I will say. The other word, it is lengthy also, but there is no option. Everyone has to adopt it. Before we end this session, I will definitely like Pavitran sir to give some remarks about today's webinar, and closing with obviously my favorite Amit sir, and from Singapore.
I think.
Yeah, Pavitran sir.
Thanks. I believe this kind of a session is basically giving a way and platform for people to interact and also to take away what's ahead of us, what's coming on our way. So the leaders and the managers and the community from the industry, particularly into custom brokerage and logistics and freight forwarding side, is to get themselves, probably we all is easy, but the problem is that the art of convincing others to adopt is become a more important things here, right? And in particularly when we talk about digitization and technology integrations are concerned. And other thing is that I believe we need to, one way of take away from our mind frame that the collaborative technology integration is going to give way and existence for everybody in the system. So it's not that, you know, one wanted to build every component of logistic and supply chain under one platform. Probably the bits and pieces from all the stakeholders, bringing into a common umbrella, and that's like Codex and logistics integrations. Those kind of an integration is collectively going to bring EXIM community all together. When I talk about EXIM community, is not just only custom broker, but also everybody. And then bringing that into customs, as you rightly said, the point tomorrow is that can we eliminate human touch from the entire EXIM processes? That's where the ball stops. Like that's where the aim. The goal has to be set. Let us collectively, as every organization and every association and every industry body, eliminate the human touch which is required in the processes, which bring in efficiency and automatically bring India competent and competitive in the international market. Because we know with all the Atmanirbhar and other we are trying to build in India, but we as an organization keep India as a brand in the global market means we need to be export oriented. So we need to have our products hitting in the global market, earning foreign exchange for us, and India brand to shine in the world. Only possible we change ourselves into a technology platform for an exporter. And like I'm coming back to Luigi's point where in like a CFS, it should be a self-service model. Why did anybody go to CFS to take their cargo custom cleared? Eventually, I think custom broker community would think about that CFS is a custodian of a bonded cargo. Once a digitally approved custom cleared passcode, QR code documents goes to CFS should be just hand over to a trucker. Why do we need a custom broker guy in the gate pass or going into there to go to the CFS? He should not be there so that we can eliminate human being and risk of contagious virus issues or any diseases going forward. I don't think so. We should end up say that, okay, Corona-19 comes in and then we find a vaccine so that the world is now come back to normal. We will find new pandemic coming into the world. So let us be ready for those kind of things. Let us be a catalyst as an association, as a window for this industry. I think that's where I sum it up. Let us drive towards having paperless, human touchless environment for EXIM industry that bring in a very competent India in the global place.
Thank you very much, sir.
Anandji, I would like to add some points here.
Please, Parag.
When he said Atmanirbhar, I agree to this, but Atmanirbhar also applies to the EXIM freight as well as the people serving the EXIM freight like Softlink and this. So when they want to make us EXIM as Atmanirbhar, what we should advocate as EXIM or providers is free and open systems. What is happening is today when the systems are open and free, as an integrator or as an end service provider, I should be able to choose whether I go with Softlink, I go with Odex, because as he mentioned correctly, right? Currently, it should happen in bits and pieces, and it is happening in bits and pieces. Like Odex has come up with some solution, Softlink has come up with one solution, and they may move at a different pace. If you come back to me as a service provider or a technological person, we have a capability to integrate at this point of time, right? So I should be able to choose between open systems where I want to head and where my business is heading and what is my priority in getting Atmanirbhar, right? So at this point of time, I think we all should advocate for open systems which can bridge and talk to each other. How they talk to each other or who makes them talk to each other should be left to the trade itself. See, if they can do a jugaad at that point of time to make the operations work, they can also do this jugaad.
Right? I totally agree with you. But on a lighter note of Atmanirbhar and reply to Liji ma'am, Liji ma'am has categorically said that when housewife is there for work of home, there is a lot of load on her. every one of us was doing work from home. I was just having some
Actually,
communication going on.
sorry, Amit. Actually, one of my staff address where we said WFH, not work from home. Actually, it is work for home also. So the woman at home is actually become, one is work for the company at home and then work for home for you or others who are in the family there.
Yeah, but just going on a lighter note to Atmanirbhar, I just asked my wife a cup of tea. So she very lightly saying me that follow Atmanirbhar. Please follow Atmanirbhar. I said, okay. And that's not the case, ma'am. Things are changing. But we are very lucky to have Mr. Vinod Sharma here from Triple FI, past president of Pune Custom House Agent Association. I will just unmute him for a few remarks on this particular event. Mr. Vinod Sharma. Vinod sir, can you hear me? You need to unmute from your end, I think. I have already unmuted you.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Anand, first of all, congratulations for conducting the successful second event. As far as this COVID-19 and digitalization is concerned, EIC is playing a very important role for distributing the medicine, the food packets. Already Mr. Shrikant has already briefed, and I congratulate to all EIC members. Now coming back to the digitization, all panelists has thrown their highlights on this and insight. We are very much benefited from this session. The day, as Parag said, that on the ground, it is really difficult to send the documents physically. We will be successful once the documents will pass on directly to the shipping line and the container will be loaded on this without human intervention. So that's why I also know that Mr. Amit is already working on this very pattern. And again, because of you all support, the India ease of doing business has come from 3-digit to 2-digit. It's all our great efforts towards this EXIM trade, and I hope we'll continue for that to support all the EXIM trade and see how we can support the EXIM trade with the digitalization. So thank you very much, Anand, giving me an opportunity, and all the best for all the panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinod sir. Like Vinod sir says, our Prime Minister also says that Jan and Jahan. Jan is spared by them and Jahan we have to do. So Amit sir, your closing lines please, and then we'll call of this particular webinar, and next announcement of webinar will be on SCMT, which will be circulating among all the members. So over to you, Amit sir, for your special closing remarks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Anandji. And it was a really great to come again in your second seminar. I hope to see you on SCMT also, because SCMT is not the problem of freight forwarders. The data of SCMT is actually with CBs. There cannot be any SCMT because freight forwarders are just, so I think Pavitranji will agree with me, the data will be lying with you. So obviously we will be definitely working closely with Lizzie to make this also a seamless activity, which is very well required. And a lot of, this digitalization word is in existence for a long time, but what exactly is the digitalization? That was a confusion. So if you search on the Google, you will have a, various meaning of digitalization. To me, digitalization means that linking of the various silos under which the logistic companies operate, because logistic company, particularly freight forwarders, are having multiple silos. Somebody doing this, somebody doing this, somebody doing that. And the true digitalization means that data once entered seamlessly flow everywhere without any break. That is what is digitalization. And people beforehand know that what I have to do. And the system is driving rather than people driving the system is driving the people. And this is what the digitalization for me means. And I think in very short period of time, 3 months, you know, for us also it was eye-opening, not only for the trade. We are an IT company, we are having this software for a long time, but we also realized a lot of gaps, a lot of things which need to be done. And very lucky that we are able to do, a lot of things are in progress, it will be done. So that is what is. And again, I salute to the trade, like always, that you people have always been on the front line. My whole team is sitting at home, but you people are still, you know, most of you have already started going to the office. So again, salute to you people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, all participants. I hope there is some knowledgeable session which EIC try to conduct every time. And as I say, digitization is a focus area on which we will be conducting few more webinars, but not hurriedly. We'll have a correct information with us, correct eminent speaker like today we have with us, with ground reporting, and we'll be conducting the same. Thank you very much, Liji ma'am, Codex team for supporting and giving. Rohit, thank you very much for hosting it, and thanks all the members.
Thanks.
Please
Thank you.
stay safe, stay fit, and take care of all your loved ones. Make sure we follow all the guidelines issued by the government and medical team time to time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure
Thank
here.
you so much.